Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be on Big E, the powerhouse of positivity. So we have Big E in the game, Champ Big E, powerhouse of positivity Big E, and he is a modern era powerhouse. He's focused. He has two links. The raw link, any color moves start with one more move point, and modern era gems do 5% more damage, and the one gear, the powerhouse of positivity gear. He is a coach all the way at 9k. Moves that destroy crossbreak gems will destroy 3 more crossbreak gems. So let's take a look at him. I'm going to have 3 move sets for you guys, a 3-star, a 4-star, and a 5-star. Going to be changing out skill plates along the way. So we're going to start out with this, this one right here. The basic plate here, the Honky Tonk Blues. Whenever you break 3 or more green gems, you get 3 more blue move points at the end of your turn. So we're going to use that in conjunction with this. Ideally, a blue Fury move damage medal for this move set would be the way to go. I don't think I have one. I will double check and see if I have a leveled one in use. I just have flat ones, so I'm not going to bother switching it because I don't have any good blue Fury medals for move damage. So we'll be running the red one for the duration of the video. You can see it's 133%. Strap's going to stay just like this, about 75% gem damage across the board. So that's the way the strap's going to stay. This moveset is the 4-star. Let's take a look at it. Body Slam, 8 MP blue, deal 53k damage and swap a 2x4 random area into green gems. Gorilla Press Slam, 9 MP green, deal 65k damage and choose 4 gems to destroy. The pin bar will not move. Overhead Belly to Belly Suplex, 9 MP blue, deal 83k damage and modify a 1x5 random area into crossbreak gems. So you can see the move charges are kind of high on Big E. So I'm going to run him like you would have to for feud. Obviously, you wouldn't have to do this for tours. I have max tour perks. I wouldn't have to do this today. So plus 3 MP and plus 1 on a match. But if you want to feud with Big E, this is how you'll have to run him. Of course, there are other trainers that have 2 blue MP. Like Lacey Evans, and there's some 1 MP ones as well, but 1 MP won't quite get it done in feud right now. So here's the trainers, Lawler and Soccer Mom AJ, and then we got purple gems do 20% more damage and green gems do 20% more damage from Lacey Evans. That's great. Dual trainer because it's going to blow up the board. Same reasoning, Santa Hogan, everyone has him. He's only at 600 damage for me. But that adds 600 gem damage to every gem, and we're blowing up the board. So we're going to run with it. All right, let's get out here and see how this one looks. The thing you're going to find out with Big E is he has some high charge moves, some high damage moves, but he is not the easiest card in the game to get loaded for sure. So turn 1, normally the crossbreak wouldn't be loaded, and we want to save it to blow up the pin bar, right? So this is a random area, so we're most likely to cause a pin. We may not, but very likely to. Like that. So typically you're looking at getting going turn 2. And the Honky Tonk Blues plate is just to try and recycle a little bit better. If you're worried about the green, you could also use anything that generates green. So like Heavy Machinery plate does green if you break 3 yellow, things like that. You could also use Cheap Shot for this. So this is a random area 1x5 cross break. This is great. We have a lot of green and blue on the board. Now we can destroy 5 gems. If we destroy 1, we're going to take out most of this. So then we will pick greens and blues that we won't destroy from the bottom row like that. And actually, we're more likely to get blues, so let's take the greens like that. This is going to blow up most of the board. Didn't move the pin bar, we recycled everything, hit for 600,000 damage. So when things go right, like this, and you can keep going when the board cooperates, this is pretty nifty, right? But it is turn 2. But this is definitely nifty. Same thing, we're going to try and pick up the greens first, and then the blue, and see if we can reload it again. Okay, it looks like we're going to be one short. That's not the end of the world, though, because we have a lot of pin bar to work with. You know, we can just risk it for the biscuit and hit the random move. And we moved that pin bar right to the very end. I do have to say, this is about the best this has played when I was trying him out. So this is working really well, but also the Honky Tonk Blues plate certainly helps with this. We're going to get that green. We're going to get all of those, so we can just kind of try and hit some gems that might matter in here. Let's stick to this side. Why not? Alright, so here we don't get the full recycle finally, so we're gonna hope we get a big enough pin, and if we're really lucky, this move will connect with the cross breaks, and we'll keep him down. So you can see it doesn't go super fast necessarily, but you can get a lot of cycles in. We don't pick the cross breaks up, so we're not going to get the biggest of pins. So most likely Ivar will kick out. So there you can kind of see the issue with this build. Even though we did a ton of damage turn 2 and kept cycling, it can sort of peter out on you, and you're not getting your big pin with the move that blows up the board. So, right. What do we have to work with? Well, let's get the loot box gems out of the way. How about that? And this is going to be great because we have the skill plate. Let's fill up the blues a lot more. Okay. So again, if we hit this, we're likely to cause the pin. But we can do this and not move the pin bar here. Let's just take that. And, well, let's see here. That'll get hit, that'll get hit. Let's take that. Why not? There we go. And maybe we're gonna get a better result here this time. So yeah, this is the one downside you're gonna see with this build, is if you don't connect on this, how big will your pin be? There you can see. You could potentially go double green. Maybe, but then, you know, you're not gonna cycle it as well either, so there's that. And we should have no problem finishing him off this turn, but I think this is a great example because it went so well to start, but then it just shows, you know, kind of how you get left off. Now, you could also just do a swipe, you know, potentially for your pin, instead of trying to hit it with the greens, so there is that you could do as well, right? Like if it lined up where you could do a swipe, which it hasn't this time, so it is random. But I think this illustrates the possible potential issues with this build, so I think it overall is a good indicator of how it might play. So that should hopefully do it here. Aha! So that time, of course, so you could, like, if the swipe worked out, you could do stuff like this, and maybe get a better pin than hoping it connects. So there's that option too. Next, we're going to take a look at his 5-star moveset, Triple Red. I am going to switch out skill plates, Cheap Shot or the NWO plate. I feel like the NWO plate would be really solid for this build and the next one, so we're going to leave that on for the next two videos, or the next two movesets rather. This is going to be Triple Red. Get this swapped out super quick here. Remove. Goodbye. And where's my NWO plate? There we go. Okie dokie. We are ready to roll. So we are going to bring in all the red moves. We're going to bring in the big ending. I love this finisher. Oops. And we are going to bring in the running splash. And finally, the E-train. So the big ending is 18 red MP. Deal 322,000 damage and modify a 5x5 random area into botch gems. The running splash, 12 MP red, deal 146k damage and deal 146k bleed damage to your opponent for one turn. Then the E-train, 5 MP red, deal 38k damage and choose a 1x3 area to make into 1 turn countdown gems that will deal 1 damage and make 7 random gems into red gems. So we are going to go with Batista for more red move damage. For the finisher, you could go with Priest if you had him leveled up. Batista also gives you 1 red MP. And then we're going to go with Butch for red MP to start, 4. Again, feud setup here. I'm going to throw Snoop on him. If you don't have Snoop, you know, I would say maybe Santa Hogan or Gooker. Santa Hogan to get you a little more red gem damage for the red part. So, I mean, it is what it is. You could also go gem defense coaches as well. So for this one, I'm going to throw Snoop on there. I could also put Gooker, but I don't want to go super, super rare. This is just to give you guys an idea of the move damage. So, yeah. And then let's get Typhoon on here. All right. So this one, obviously, you set the red gems turn 1. They go off turn 2. If you're really lucky, they don't cause a pin, because as long as they survive, you're making 21 randoms into red. So you're probably pinning most of the time. And then you can finish them on turn 3. In a really, really, really amazingly lucky world, potentially turn 2. Also keep in mind, if you were playing this in feud, how often does your opponent pin you the first turn in feud? You would want to keep that in mind, because that certainly could cause you some issues when your countdown gems go off when you're pinned. So there is that to consider. So here we go, 21 randoms into red. Yeah, definitely cause a pin, which it should most of the time. It hits for decent damage though, 500,000 there. And it reloads everything again. So we're going to be looking at a pretty big turn 2 here. And it charges the NWO plate up. So you're going to see the finisher grew to over 1 million now. And the running splash to over 500,000. NWO plate, very, very big for that. I should have shown you the damage ahead of time. But I will do it on the next moveset. So again, keep in mind this would be turn 3 in feud. But here's the 1 million damage with the botch gems. Ivar doesn't have a chance. 1.1 million. NWO plate is definitely my favorite plate for him, if not Cheap Shot. So no chance at kicking out. Still had half of our kick out damage meter left. And let's take a look at the next set. And again, you could run this armor or fury. That's why I have both there. Harder to kick out, obviously, with the double armor, but you're not getting the gem damage when you throw out all those red gems. So you could do it either way. And finally, we're going to see a variation on this with the one move we haven't seen. It's the other green move. And this is my favorite move set for him. Turn 2 is when you're going off instead of turn 3. So I think this build set with the NWO plate, you're going to win turn 2 pretty much all the time. And the new move is the 8 MP green, backbreaker, deals 69k damage, and choose a 3x4 area to swap into red gems. So that's going to get you 12 red MP. And for this, we're going to have to go double green MP trainer. Because of feud. It's the only way to be ready, so I'm going to set him up like you'd have to run him for feud. So keep this in mind. If you don't have Tyler Breeze, you are then going to be relegated to turn 3. So there is that as well. I'm going to leave the Snoop on there and Typhoon. Again, same things apply. You could throw Gooker in, you know, you could throw Hogan in because of the 3x4 area into red, that sort of thing. Eventually we'll get a flat 2200 coach, and you could put them in there as well. So let's run this one. Again, my favorite moveset, especially with the NWO plate, cheap shot as a second option. And for this one, again, you could go double armor, you could go double fury. So in feud, you need 18 to fill the red move. We're getting 12 plus 2 is 14. 1 for your turn is 15. And starting with 1 is 16 red MP, and then 1 for your turn. So you really just need to connect with 1 red, which isn't going to be hard. In feud, we can connect with a lot more than 1, right? So 380k there. The downside is no recycle on this unless you get a cascade of green like we did. So keep that in mind as well. However, NWO plate went off, so our moves are buffed. Boom, big ending, here we go. Million damage, botch gems everywhere, he really has no chance. And that's my favorite moveset for Big E. Should be a lot of turn 2 wins this way in feud, and it should be really solid, especially if you have a spare NWO plate for him. If not, cheap shot, you're still going to get a ton of wins, but you are turn 2. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, as that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and good luck out there.